Hey everyone, and welcome back to the deep dive. Remember when NFTs were, primarily known as digital collectibles,
Mm.
often just seen as profile pictures?
Yeah, a bit of a digital flex, maybe,
Uh,
or purely speculative.
exactly. But what if those static digital images are now rapidly changing, like transforming into the actual building blocks of these huge interactive entertainment universes,
Hmm.
waddling their way, you could say, onto the screens of millions?
That's a great way to put it. And it's happening fast.
Well, that's precisely the really intriguing evolution we're here to unpack today. Our central subject is none other than Pudgy Penguins. I mean, you've almost certainly seen them making colossal waves, right?
Yeah.
Across both Web3 and increasingly mainstream culture.
Oh, yeah, they're pretty hard to miss now.
Yeah.
Very recognizable.
And their latest venture, it's absolutely significant. They're launching a new mobile game called Pudgy Party.
Pudgy Party, okay.
And this isn't just, another crypto project popping up. It's a really strategic, crucial collaboration with an established, heavy-hitting gaming studio, Mythical Games.
Mystical Games. Okay, that's a big name. They know their stuff.
Right. And this partnership, it aims to seamlessly blend that kind of casual, really accessible mobile gameplay that everyone knows
Uh-huh.
with genuinely innovative Web3 ownership mechanics, all powered, of course, by that universally beloved Pudgy Penguins intellectual property.
So casual gaming meets actual ownership. That's interesting.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is to meticulously unpack the layers of significance around this really bold move. We'll explore its profound implications, not just for Pudgy Penguins themselves, obviously, but for the entire Web3 space, the traditional gaming industry, and
Yeah.
even the broader landscape of mainstream entertainment, and how we even perceive digital brands now.
It touches a lot of areas.
Totally. We're going to dive into its potential to onboard potentially millions of new users into Web3.
That's the big dream, isn't it? Mass adoption.
It is, and also its anticipated impact on investors and traders, and what this strategic expansion truly signals about the future trajectory and mainstream viability of digital IP. And maybe just quickly, for anyone less familiar with the jargon, when we say Web3 ownership mechanics, what are we really talking about?
Yeah, good point. Essentially, it's a fundamental shift. Instead of just licensing content from a game publisher, like you normally do.
Where you don't really own anything.
Exactly. Here, players truly own their digital assets, maybe their character, items, skins.
Hmm.
These are often verified on a blockchain, meaning it's provably yours.
Okay, so you could, sell it or trade it outside the game?
Potentially, yes.
Hmm.
It fundamentally changes the relationship between the player and the game. It gives power, real ownership, back to the user.
Got it. That's a key difference.
It really is.
Yeah.
And what's truly fascinating here isn't just the game itself, Pudgy Party. It's the convergence of several major trends it represents.
Hmm.
This isn't just a game launch. It feels like a meticulously crafted blueprint for how digital assets are moving beyond just being static pictures or collectibles
Right.
and into dynamic, interactive experiences that can actually break out of that crypto-native bubble.
Transcend the bubble. Yeah.
It strongly suggests a future where your digital collectibles aren't just things you have passive assets sitting in a wallet, but things you do stuff with.
Actively use.
Yeah, across multiple platforms, various forms of media. This deep dive, I think, will really highlight the sophisticated strategic thinking behind such a significant pivot and what it really means for the future of entertainment IP.
Okay, fantastic. So let's dive right into the heart of it then. What's the core announcement that's sending these ripples through both Web3 and traditional gaming? And, what does it mean for these adorable penguins?
Right. The headline is, Pudgy Penguins Waddle into Gaming.
Love it. Now, for an audience like ours who generally follows this space, the prominence of Pudgy Penguins, well, it hardly needs an introduction, does it?
Yeah. No, not really. They've become one of the biggest, most recognizable NFT brands globally, remarkably quickly.
Their look is just so distinctive, isn't it? Those charming, kind of hilariously expressive penguin characters. They've built this huge recognition and a genuinely passionate, engaged community.
And it goes far beyond just the crypto enthusiasts now. That's the key thing.
Yeah, they're not just a niche crypto thing anymore. They've become a real cultural touch point. I mean, we saw them pop up in Walmart, of all places.
Exactly, that was huge. Which brings us to the core of this section. The announcement of Pudgy Party, their new mobile game.
Okay, Pudgy Party on mobile. Why mobile specifically? What are the implications there?
Well, the strategic implications of choosing mobile are, frankly, immense. Mobile gaming has this unparalleled global reach, right? billions of devices.
True, everyone has a smartphone.
And it presents a significantly lower barrier to entry compared to console or PC gaming, let alone trying to get someone set up with complex, desktop-based Web3 apps.
Right, yeah. No need for a fancy gaming rig or complicated installs.
Precisely. This inherent accessibility is absolutely paramount if you want to onboard a truly mass audience, many of whom probably have zero prior exposure or, frankly, interest in blockchain technology itself.
So it's kind of like a stealth approach to Web3 adoption.
That's a perfect way to describe it. Almost like a Trojan horse. Yeah. Get them in with a fun game first.
And the development partner here is crucial too, you mentioned. Mythical Games.
Absolutely crucial. This isn't some unknown startup or a quickly thrown together Web3 team. Mythical Games is established. They're reputable in the traditional gaming world. They have a proven track record.
What kind of games are they known for?
They're known for incorporating player ownership into their games. Blanco's Block Party is probably their best-known example.
Ah, right. I've heard of that.
But they do it with a focus on polished, engaging gameplay that appeals to a broad audience, not just crypto natives. That's key.
Okay, so they know how to make games fun and integrate these Web3 ideas.
Exactly. So this partnership lends immediate, undeniable credibility to Pudgy Party. It signals a serious commitment to quality game development and a vision that goes way beyond just the existing crypto crowd.
That makes a lot of sense. That validation is important.
It is. Though it's worth noting, there's always a fine line to walk here.
How so?
Well, traditional studios operate with different incentives, different corporate structures than, say, decentralized Web3 projects often do.
True.
So the challenge, and this is something we'll need to watch closely, will be ensuring that while Mythical brings its expertise and polish, the core Web3 principles, things like true ownership, transparency, community involvement, aren't accidentally diluted or compromised in that push for mass appeal.
That's a really important balancing act, yeah. Finding that sweet spot.
Exactly. The vision for Pudgy Party, as you said, is to seamlessly blend casual mobile gameplay with those Web3 ownership mechanics.
Right. Accessible but innovative.
But the casual aspect is so critical because it dramatically lowers the learning curve for these Web3 concepts.
Yeah, if you make it too complicated up front.
You lose people immediately. If you need a crypto wallet and like an advanced degree in blockchain just to start playing, you've already alienated 99% of your potential audience.
Definitely.
A fun, intuitive mobile game, though, can introduce these concepts almost discreetly. It can make the underlying blockchain tech practically invisible to the average user. Fun first.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting for me. For someone just downloading this game from the App Store, maybe knowing nothing about NFTs, what could those Web3 elements actually look like in practice? How would I, as a player, genuinely feel that ownership you mentioned?
That really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you make it tangible and valuable without making it confusing? We can certainly speculate on a few exciting possibilities.
Yeah, let's hear them.
Okay, so imagine your unique Pudgy Penguin character in the game. Maybe it has specific hats or accessories or even entire outfits that are actual verifiable NFTs. These wouldn't just be standard skins licensed from the game publisher that disappear if the game shuts down. They'd be truly yours.
Okay, provably mine on a blockchain somewhere.
Exactly. Which means you could potentially trade them or sell them on an open marketplace, maybe even down the line, use them across different games or platforms if interoperability ever becomes a real thing.
Wow, okay. That's a big difference.
Or perhaps you could earn rare in-game items or currency that aren't just numbers tied to your account, but are verifiable assets on-chain.
So my progress, my achievements actually have some kind of tangible, potentially transferable value.
Precisely. Giving you a real stake in your digital life within that game. We might also see things like exclusive access to certain game modes or special events, maybe even voting rights on future game features.
Oh, like governance?
Yeah, potentially, all tied directly to holding a Pudgy Penguin NFT. That creates real utility.
That kind of utility definitely amplifies the power of the IP, doesn't it? And you mentioned the game will leverage the existing Pudgy Penguins IP extensively.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that IP is already incredibly strong and recognizable.
Yeah, for anyone listening, just picture those adorable, often funny-looking penguins, right? Sometimes they have top hats, sunglasses, maybe holding a little fish.
Exactly. Their distinct look, that blend of cute and quirky, has already built this strong visual identity that resonates instantly.
And that aesthetic appeal is crucial, I imagine, for drawing in that mass audience we talked about. People who might not care initially about blockchain, but they see a cute penguin.
Totally. They'll be drawn in by engaging characters, fun gameplay, a world they actually want to spend time in. The tech becomes secondary to the experience.
So really, this isn't just an announcement of another mobile game. It feels much bigger.
Oh, absolutely. It's a profound strategic pivot for the entire Pudgy Penguins brand. It signals a much broader ambition for their whole universe.
Right, reaching far beyond just the existing community of NFT holders.
Exactly. It's about transforming from essentially a collection of digital images into an interactive, engaging, multifaceted entertainment universe.
Precisely. And, well, that leads us perfectly into the next big question. Why does this expansion matter so much? Why is moving beyond profile pictures and into the mainstream such a big deal?
Yeah, this is where it gets really significant for the whole space.
The core insight here, as the sources suggest, is that this move shows how NFT projects are evolving beyond profile pictures into mainstream entertainment.
It feels like a maturation, maybe.
That's a huge statement, but I think it's accurate. It's not just hype. For so long, NFTs, especially the PFP collections, were often seen by the general public as, speculative digital art, maybe a fad.
Yeah, or just for that niche crypto crowd.
Exactly. But this move signifies a genuine, undeniable maturation of the entire NFT space. We're really witnessing a transformation where these static digital assets are evolving.
Into what
Well,
exactly?
into dynamic, interactive experiences, into full-fledged brands with diverse utility that can actually compete on a global stage with traditional entertainment.
So it's about building real, enduring value and engaging experiences, not just relying on owning a cool-looking JPEG. That's it, exactly. And the real shift here, I think, isn't just that NFTs are becoming entertainment. It's the subtle, almost as you called it, Trojan horse-like way mobile gaming is poised to embed this Web3 ownership concept into the everyday digital lives of millions.
Through stealth adoption, yeah.
It bypasses all those friction points, the complex wallets, the gas fees, the jargon that Web3 purists often struggle to get mainstream users past. It could bring mass adoption just through sheer fun, not because people suddenly understand blockchain.
That perspective is absolutely key. It really reframes the whole thing. So this raises a big question then. What does this development suggest for the future of other successful NFT projects, like the Bored Apes or Doodles or others?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question for them, isn't it?
Will having a robust utility layer or some kind of entertainment component like a game become basically mandatory for long-term relevance, for holding value in these top-tier PFP collections?
It seems increasingly likely, doesn't it? I think simply being a cool picture, a status symbol, probably isn't going to be enough long-term.
Right. Projects need to offer more.
Yeah, they need to offer engaging experiences, tangible benefits to their holders. And crucially, they need ways to attract new audiences who aren't already deep in the crypto world. Gaming seems like a prime way to do that.
I agree completely. It feels like the days of just static digital status symbols are numbered. They need to evolve into these dynamic, interactive brand experiences.
And a massive part of that strategy, as the sources really emphasize, is making it incredibly accessible.
Back to the mobile point.
Exactly. Gaming, especially mobile gaming, is so often cited as one of the easiest entry points for onboarding millions into Web3. Their specific mobile-first adoption strategy seems like a masterstroke in this regard.
Okay, let's dig into that a bit more. From your perspective, what makes mobile gaming such an incredibly potent Trojan horse, as we're calling it, for Web3 adoption, especially when we're talking about potentially onboarding millions?
Well, connecting this back to the bigger picture, the sheer ubiquity of mobile phones is just staggering, right?
Yeah, billions globally.
And the global dominance of mobile gaming that goes with it, you simply can't overstate its reach. Now, compare that accessibility to the potential friction of desktop-based Web3 experiences.
Right, like having to download a special browser, setting up a complex wallet, understanding gas fees, navigating clunky dApps.
Exactly. It's intimidating for newcomers. Now compare that to the potential for a seamless, user-friendly integration within a casual mobile game.
Which people download from the App Store all the time.
Precisely. It often has a much smoother, more familiar onboarding process. Most people already have mobile games on their phones. It's a known behavior.
So the Web3 stuff can be introduced more subtly.
Yeah, discreetly. Without the user necessarily needing to understand what a blockchain is or how a crypto wallet functions under the hood, it makes the underlying tech almost invisible, allowing the fun, the gameplay, to come first.
Exactly. And just think about the sheer mind-boggling scale of the global mobile gaming market. We're talking billions of people playing mobile games every single day.
Yeah, the numbers are astronomical.
Even if Pudgy Party manages to capture just a tiny, minuscule fraction of that enormous audience.
We're still talking millions of new Web3 users.
Millions, many of whom might be completely new to crypto concepts, digital ownership, maybe even the idea of a digital wallet. That's a truly massive, untapped funnel for bringing people into Web3.
It absolutely is. And this leads us to another crucial point that adds weight to this whole venture. Cross-industry validation and credibility.
Ah, yes, the partnership aspect again.
Right. The fact that they're partnering with established gaming studios like Mythical Games demonstrates that NFTs are being seen as serious IP plays, not just speculation.
That feels like a huge, maybe even underrated part of this strategy.
I think so too. It's incredibly significant for how the broader world perceives the NFT space.
Because Mythical Games isn't just some random startup. They're established, reputable in the traditional gaming industry. They've developed quality games. They've raised substantial funding.
Exactly. So this collaboration provides immense external validation. It sends a signal to the wider entertainment world, to Hollywood, to other game studios, to investors, that NFTs aren't just this weird, speculative niche anymore.
It says, look, serious players recognize the value here.
Precisely. It's a clear and powerful signal that traditional entertainment industries are increasingly recognizing the inherent value and the long-term potential of intellectual property based on NFTs. It's like a stamp of approval from the mainstream.
Moving the narrative away from just quick flips and speculation.
Yeah, towards building actual lasting brands and experiences. It truly is. And this type of strategic partnership, well, it kind of sets a blueprint, doesn't it?
A blueprint for how mainstream industries might integrate with these decentralized technologies.
I think so. What implications does this hold for future collaborations between, Web2 companies and Web3 projects? This model shows a viable path forward.
Also,
By leveraging existing expertise like Mythical's game dev skills, their infrastructure, maybe even their existing player bases, while simultaneously embracing these new Web3 models of ownership and community engagement. It suggests that the future for many successful Web3 projects might actually lie in these kinds of synergistic relationships, rather than trying to build everything in isolation within the crypto bubble.
building bridges, not walls.
Exactly. It's about building bridges.
Okay, and what about the people who already hold Pudgy Penguins NFTs? How does this game impact them? It seems like it dramatically deepens community engagement and utility.
Absolutely. The sources highlight that Pudgy Penguins already has a strong community, and gaming adds utility plus stickiness.
Let's unpack utility and stickiness in this context. What does utility mean here beyond just owning the PFP?
Right, so here, utility goes way beyond just the digital ownership of a profile picture. The game can offer tangible benefits, actual experiences, or exclusive access specifically for the NFT holders.
Like what, for example?
It could be anything, really. Unique in-game skins or items that only Pudgy Penguin NFT holders can use. Access to special quests or game modes, maybe early access to new content drops before anyone else, or even direct benefits tied into the game's economy, like boosted earning potential perhaps.
Okay, so it transforms holding the NFT from something passive into something active, something that actually unlocks things within the game.
Exactly. It drives participation, gives you a reason to hold and engage, and then there's stickiness.
Stickiness.
Yeah.
Keeping people around.
Yeah, essentially. How does a compelling, fun game sustain and deepen community engagement over the long term? It fosters a stronger sense of belonging, encourages ongoing interaction.
So it turns passive holders into active participants, people who are constantly interacting with the brand, spending time in its ecosystem.
And becoming even stronger advocates, stronger evangelists for the project because they're actively involved in enjoying it.
That seems vital, doesn't it? Because a strong, active community isn't just a nice-to-have for a modern brand.
Oh, it's fundamental. It's absolutely a cornerstone for long-term success, whether you're talking digital or physical brands.
It builds that loyalty, drives organic growth through word of mouth, acts as a powerful marketing engine in itself.
Totally. These broader implications, they really paint a picture of significant strategic value. But okay, let's narrow our focus now. Let's look at the direct economic ripples of such a bold move.
Right, the money side, the impact on investors and traders.
That's an excellent transition.
Yeah.
So turning to the economic angle, first, and maybe most obviously, There's the potential for Pudgy Penguins' NFT floor price appreciation.
Ah, the floor price.
Yeah. The core logic, as the sources state, is that game success could drive higher demand for Pudgy NFTs as premium in-game assets.
Okay, so let's quickly define floor price, again, for anyone new to this. It's basically the lowest price listed for sale for an NFT from a specific collection on a marketplace, right?
Exactly. It's often used as that key, real-time indicator of market sentiment and demand for that collection.
So, the connection here is pretty direct. If the game, Pudgy Party, is perceived as successful, it's popular, lots of people are playing, it's actually fun, that could significantly boost the intrinsic value proposition of owning one of the original Pudgy Penguin NFTs.
Precisely. To get more specific, think about how owning a Pudgy Penguin NFT could grant those exclusives we talked about.
Like unique customizations or special abilities in the game.
Yeah, or maybe specific play-to-earn benefits directly tied to owning that particular NFT. For instance, maybe your specific Pudgy Penguin NFT unlocks a unique ability in the game, or finds a rare item, or grants you boosted earning potential.
Okay, so it directly links the digital collectible's value to its actual function and maybe perceived scarcity within the game itself.
Right. It goes way beyond just looking cool as a profile picture. It creates tangible utility that can directly fuel demand for the NFTs themselves.
You know, that could potentially create a really powerful positive feedback loop, couldn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, if the game's popularity and the utility it offers drives up demand for the NFTs, that higher demand and floor price then attracts more investment, maybe more talent, definitely more attention into the whole Pudgy ecosystem.
Right, creating buzz.
Which then further fuels the growth of the game and the brand. It becomes like a virtuous cycle where success just breeds more success.
It absolutely could. It has the potential to transform what some might still see as a speculative digital asset into a central, dynamic component of a genuinely thriving entertainment economy.
Interesting. Okay, what's the second economic angle?
Secondly, this move also carries the potential revival of GameFi tokens.
Ah, GameFi.
Gaming finance.
Yeah. Our sources mention this Pudgy Party launch could revive interest in NFT gaming tokens after Axie Infinity's hype cycle cooled off.
Right. Axie Infinity, we have to talk about Axie. They were the big pioneer in Web3 gaming, weren't they?
Absolutely groundbreaking. Their initial explosive hype cycle back in 2021 was incredible. They onboarded millions of users.
Especially in places like the Philippines, right?
Yeah.
It became a real income source. Exactly. It truly pioneered that play-to-earn model on a global scale.
Yeah.
It opened so many eyes to what was possible when you integrate blockchain into gaming.
We also saw its subsequent pretty dramatic cooling off. Why did that happen?
Well, there were several interconnected reasons. A big one was a challenge of unsustainable economic models.
The tokenomics.
Yeah, the tokenomics. Axie relied heavily on a constant influx of new users buying Axies to sustain the rewards for existing players. When that growth slowed...
the whole thing started to wobble.
Right. And critically, there's a perception, fair or not, that the core gameplay itself wasn't engaging enough beyond the earning mechanic. Once the earning potential dropped, player retention became a major issue.
So lessons learned there about sustainability and fun factor.
Huge lessons. And this is precisely where Pudgy Party has a massive opportunity to differentiate itself.
By learning from those mistakes.
Exactly. A new, well-funded project like this, especially with Mythical Games' expertise in building polished games, could inject renewed enthusiasm, fresh capital, and maybe a more sustainable narrative into the whole GameFi sector by really focusing on the tokenomics, how the game's currency or assets work, and by prioritizing actual fun.
Fun first, earn second.
Maybe they could foster a more robust and appealing model. We saw in those earlier GameFi projects how unsustainable tokenomics, often relying on that endless supply of new users,
Yeah, that Ponzi-like feel sometimes.
led to their eventual decline. Pudgy Party has the chance to design a virtuous cycle where the gameplay itself drives value, not just pure speculation on earnings.
Because there was definitely widespread skepticism around play-to-earn after that initial peak hype died down.
Absolutely. So it's critical for Pudgy Party to offer a genuinely robust, enjoyable experience that people want to play, even if they're not making huge amounts of money, something that lasts.
Okay, and this potential GameFi revival, what does it mean for traders and investors?
Well, it could lead to a noticeable shifting of trader behavior and investment allocation. The core idea here is that speculators may rotate into NFT ecosystems that are expanding into gaming IP monetization.
Rotate, like move their money around.
Exactly. Rotating in market terms just means that strategic reallocation of capital. Traders and investors might deliberately shift their funds away from sectors of the crypto market that seem less promising or stagnant.
Maybe pure art NFTs or metaverse projects that aren't really delivering yet.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
And they might move that capital towards projects demonstrating clear signs of growth, innovation, and enhanced utility, like an established NFT brand successfully launching a major game.
So the criteria for what makes a good investment in the NFT space might be changing.
I think it definitely is. The evolving criteria traders use will likely increasingly include factors like strong underlying intellectual property, like Pudgy Penguins clearly has, reputable development partners, like Mythical Games,
Right.
clear pathways for monetization, how will the game make money sustainably, and real-world applicability or genuine entertainment value.
It signals a fundamental shift then, moving beyond just speculating on rarity or hype.
And into assessing tangible value creation, backed by real brand building, active user engagement, and solid execution.
Okay, these economic considerations are absolutely vital. They give us a roadmap for how value might flow and build up in this evolving digital landscape. But as you alluded to earlier, this strategic move by Pudgy Penguins also casts a much larger shadow, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Influencing the whole landscape of Web3 and how it integrates with our everyday lives, our broader culture.
Indeed. Which brings us nicely to the bigger picture, looking at the Web3 ecosystem and its mainstream potential.
Where do we start with that?
Well, our first point here is what the sources call the NFT to mainstream pipeline, a multi-platform approach.
Okay.
And they trace Pudgy's journey really effectively. Plush Toys in Walmart, now a mobile game, shows how NFTs can become household brands. That progression is crucial.
That journey is honestly profound when you think about it. It really speaks volumes about their strategic vision. That Walmart deal, I mean, seeing Pudgy Penguins plush toys on actual physical retail shelves in thousands of stores across the U.S.
Yeah, that was huge.
It meant the brand completely transcended the digital realm. It wasn't just some quirky online thing anymore. It was tangible. You could buy it. Millions of everyday shoppers saw it, people who likely knew absolutely nothing about NFTs.
It demonstrated that immediate, tangible mainstream appeal and brand resonance in a way purely digital metrics can't.
And now you connect that physical presence directly to the mobile game launch.
Right.
And you have this major digital, interactive, and super accessible entry point for an even wider mass audience.
It's this multi-pronged pipeline. It demonstrates a really sophisticated, diversified approach to developing their IP. It mirrors the strategies that long-established media and entertainment giants use.
Like Disney or Pokemon, yeah.
Exactly. Imagine this. A kid discovers a Pudgy Penguin plush toy in Walmart,
Yeah.
thinks it's cute. Maybe there's a QR code on the tag that lets them claim a related digital collectible, like a hat for the game.
Oh, cool. Bridging physical and digital right there.
Yeah. And then later, they seamlessly download and play the mobile game featuring the same characters. It creates this cohesive, multi-layered brand experience across totally different consumer touchpoints, physical, digital, interactive.
Building that brand loyalty and awareness organically across different demographics.
It's about building a recognizable, cherished character or world that lives everywhere people are.
Meeting people exactly where they are, yeah. Whether that's walking down an aisle in Walmart or scrolling through their phone on the bus. Okay, this also speaks to that vital idea of a GameFi revival and evolution towards sustainable models.
Right. The sources acknowledge that, yes, Web3 gaming had a downturn, but recognizable brands like Pudgy Penguins may lead a comeback.
And we can't just ignore the significant challenges Web3 gaming faced previously, can we?
No, absolutely not. We saw those complex, often really confusing onboarding processes. We saw unsustainable economic models that frankly relied on that endless supply of new players just to prop up the rewards.
The Punzonomics critique.
Yeah, and often there was this overemphasis on speculative earning rather than just making a genuinely fun game people wanted to play regardless.
But a project built around an established consumer-friendly IP like Pudgy Penguins, they can reframe that narrative.
That's the hope and the opportunity. They can prioritize genuinely engaging gameplay as the core experience first.
Fun first.
Fun first, with the Web3 elements, the ownership, the potential earnings serving as valuable enhancements, not the sole purpose for playing.
So the ownership becomes a bonus, maybe a reward for engagement, not the only reason you're there.
Exactly. That fun-first approach could be the catalyst for more robust, more enjoyable, and ultimately more sustainable Web3 gaming experiences that can actually attract and retain a mainstream audience.
So, if this model proves successful, Could it lead to that widespread shift we talked about? Moving away from pure play to earn with all its issues
Hmm.
towards maybe a more nuanced play and own model, or even play to enjoy and own, where the fun truly comes first, and that ownership is a meaningful integrated bonus for players.
I think it's not just possible, it's probably a necessary evolution for mass adoption and long-term viability in this space. People need to want to play the game.
That feels like a massive and, yeah, probably necessary evolution for the whole industry.
I believe so. And this leads directly into the next big idea, the modern IP monetization model, building comprehensive ecosystems.
Okay.
The sources draw that clear parallel we touched on. Similar to Disney or Pokemon, NFTs are becoming content, plus merch, plus gaming ecosystems.
That comparison is incredibly insightful. It's crucial for understanding the long-term vision here, isn't it?
Definitely. Think about Disney, right? They leverage their IP, Mickey Mouse, Star Wars, Marvel across movies, animation, theme parks, merchandise, cruise ships, video games. It's a sprawling, integrated universe.
Right. They monetize it everywhere.
And Pokemon, a perfect example from the gaming world. They've built this expansive universe spanning trading card games, anime series, movies, console games, and of course, hugely successful mobile games like Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go was a phenomenon.
Absolutely. And what Pudgy Penguins appears to be doing is strategically constructing a similar, multifaceted ecosystem. They're positioning their core NFT IP as the central, unifying hub for all these diverse offerings. The plushies, the game, maybe future content too.
So it's not just about selling one product like the NFT or the game. It's about cultivating this truly comprehensive brand universe.
Exactly. A universe that can generate value from multiple angles and engage its audience across countless different touchpoints, reinforcing the brand constantly.
And critically, as you mentioned, Pokemon Go serves as such a powerful real-world case study. It showed exactly how mobile gaming can take a beloved, but maybe previously somewhat niche IP
It wasn't everywhere before Go.
and just propel it into a global cultural phenomenon. It connected the digital world with the physical world in a way that resonated with millions, inviting active participation.
Pudgy Penguins is clearly aiming for that kind of widespread appeal, that deep integration into everyday life and culture.
You know, this is more than just smart business strategy, though, isn't it? It feels like a powerful cultural signal, building enduring entertainment franchises.
I agree. The core insight here is that Web3 communities aren't just speculative assets, they're building enduring entertainment franchises.
That represents a really profound cultural shift, redefining what a brand can even be in this digital age.
It does. It elevates the perception of NFTs away from just being volatile digital assets
Right, away from the casino feel.
and towards being foundational elements of long-term cultural products, things with lasting appeal and reach. And what's truly revolutionary, potentially, is how community-driven IP, like Pudgy Penguins, originated.
Where the community was integral from day one.
Exactly. How that model can foster a potentially deeper sense of connection, more loyalty, more organic growth compared to the traditional top-down developed franchises where the audience is often just passive recipients of whatever the studio puts out.
Here, the community has a direct stake, sometimes literally, and often a real voice in the direction. That can lead to incredible authenticity and passion, can't it?
It absolutely can. That buy-in is powerful.
Okay, these broad implications are incredibly exciting. They paint this vivid picture of potential future for digital IP. But to fully grasp this potential, we need to ground our understanding, right? We need to look at specific examples, past successes, and also the critical challenges in both the NFT and mobile gaming space.
Absolutely. Context is key. So let's learn from the past by examining some key case studies. Where should we start?
Let's start with the unavoidable one, Axie Infinity, the pioneer, and its critical lessons.
Right. We all recall Axie Infinity as the first major NFT gaming success, onboarding millions in 2021.
Their initial explosion was just nothing short of groundbreaking, really. It truly introduced that play-to-earn model to a global audience.
Especially in places like the Philippines, Vietnam, it offered a legitimate income stream for many people during difficult times.
It really demonstrated the inherent mass appeal and, honestly, the transformative potential of Web3 gaming. It created this vibrant in-game economy, the whole scholarship model that allowed people to play without huge upfront investment. It opened a lot of eyes.
You really did. But crucially, we have to dig into why its hype cycle cooled off so dramatically. It wasn't just one thing.
What were the core issues?
Beyond that over-reliance on constantly needing new users, the fundamental problem, many argue, lay in the tokenomics. specifically the continuous uncontrolled inflation of the in-game reward token, Smooth Love Potion, or SLP.
SLP.
SLP was central to the play-to-earn model. But as the supply of SLP being generated by players dramatically outstripped the demand for it, which was mainly for breeding new Axies, and as new player growth inevitably slowed down.
Its value just plummeted.
Exactly. Which made the earning component unsustainable for millions of players. It effectively broke the core economic loop of the game.
And weren't there issues with the breeding mechanics becoming expensive too? And the core gameplay maybe being a bit repetitive?
Yes, all of those contributed. The high barrier to entry for new players wanting to buy a competitive team, combined with a core gameplay loop that many found quite grindy once that big earning incentive faded. It all led to the decline.
Those are vital, hard-learned lessons, aren't they?
Absolutely vital. Pudgy Party needs to navigate those pitfalls carefully, understanding precisely how to create sustainable economics and engaging long-term gameplay, while still trying to replicate that initial success of onboarding millions. It's a huge challenge.
Okay, who else should we look at? How about Bored Ape Yacht Club, BAYC, Metaverse, and Gaming Ambitions? Their approach seems different.
Very different, yes. BYC's strategic expansion into gaming and metaverse projects like Otherside offers a really fascinating contrast.
Otherside, that was their big Metaverse land sale project, right?
Exactly. BYC's ambition has been to build this vast, high-fidelity metaverse ecosystem, which includes significant gaming components and virtual land. Their approach often focuses on more complex, graphically rich experiences.
And probably a higher cost of entry compared to a free mobile game?
Generally, yes. Compare that to Pudgy's distinct mobile-first casual gaming strategy. It really showcases the diverse routes available for NFT IP expansion. They're targeting different audiences, different levels of engagement.
So Otherside, with its land sales, its complex lore, introducing new NFTs like the Codas, that appeals to a different segment than Pudgy Party likely will.
Precisely. It shows there isn't a single right way to expand Web3 IP. It depends on the brand, the community, the goals.
Okay, another interesting case. Doodles X Pharrell Williams, emphasizing cultural storytelling.
Right, Doodles took a different tack again. They made a notable pivot into cultural storytelling and entertainment, really exemplified by high-profile partnerships, like appointing Pharrell Williams as their chief brand officer.
So less focus purely on gaming, more on broader culture.
Yeah, Doodles focus heavily on building broader cultural narratives. They talk about music, animation projects, fashion collaborations. They aim to build a Doodleverse, extending beyond just the PFP art into diverse media formats and experiences.
It further reinforces that idea of NFTs as foundational IP for comprehensive entertainment brands, right? Brands that can touch music, film, fashion.
Exactly. It's about building a brand that resonates across different aspects of culture and appeals to various creative industries, not just gamers or collectors.
And of course, we absolutely have to revisit the Pudgy Penguins Walmart deal concrete mainstream validation.
Yes. Can't stress that one enough.
As we touched on, the simple fact that they were selling plush toys showed undeniable mainstream demand for NFT IP.
That moment provided just irrefutable evidence. An NFT brand successfully transitioning into physical retail, resonating with a broad consumer base way beyond crypto enthusiasts.
And didn't those plush toys themselves integrate some digital elements too, like QR codes?
Yes, many did. Often linking to free NFTs or digital experiences or access related to their online world. It effectively bridged the physical and digital for a completely new audience.
It demonstrated that brands' intrinsic mass market appeal in a way purely digital sales just never could. It's about that real-world visibility, those tangible touch points, capturing the imagination of a non-crypto audience.
Hugely important precedent.
Okay, finally, let's look at Pokemon Go, the definitive mobile gaming paradigm shift. You called this the closest aspirational parallel.
I think it is. Pokemon Go presents a prime case study in how mobile gaming can make niche IP mainstream.
Let's dive a bit deeper into why it's such a good comparison.
Well, the unparalleled success of Pokemon Go offers a deep well of lessons. It took a beloved IP. But Pokemon, at that specific moment before Go, was still somewhat niche compared to its peak. Maybe not top of mind for everyone.
Right, it wasn't the global phenomenon it became again after Go.
Exactly. And Go used innovative augmented reality, AR features, and super accessible mobile gameplay to transform it almost overnight into a massive global cultural phenomenon.
It got everyone outside walking around staring at their phones.
It did. It effectively lowered the barriers to entry. It was free, It was on mobile. It introduced novel interactive mechanics by encouraging players to explore their actual physical environment. And it successfully tapped into these universal themes: nostalgia for older fans, exploration, social interaction through team battles and trading.
It seamlessly blended the digital with the physical, creating this shared experience that just cut across traditional gaming demographics: old, young, gamers, non-gamers. Everyone seemed to be playing it for a while.
Exactly. And that serves as a direct, highly aspirational blueprint for what Pudgy Party might hope to achieve, taking its charming IP and bringing it to a massive global audience through accessible mobile gaming.
Okay, these examples, Axie's lessons, BAYC's ambitions, Doodle's cultural play, Pudgy's own Walmart success, and the Pokemon Go phenomenon, they provide this really rich tapestry of possibilities and potential pitfalls.
They really do. Sets the stage well.
So after considering all of this, what specific indicators should we, as informed observers, be watching closely now? How do we determine if Pudgy Party truly succeeds in carving out its unique place in this evolving landscape?
Right, this brings us to looking forward.
Yeah.
The key metrics we need to monitor and the big questions that remain.
Okay, let's start with the metrics. What should we be tracking?
First, and perhaps the most direct, immediate indicator will be the Pudgy Penguins floor price trend.
Okay, the NFT price.
Yeah. We need to track the price movements both leading up to and following the Pudgy Party announcement and launch, and then its ongoing trajectory.
Why is this one so critical?
Well, as we discussed, the floor price acts as that direct, real-time measure of market confidence and the perceived value added to the core Pudgy Penguins NFTs by the game.
So, if the game generates real excitement, shows clear utility for holders, attracts a big new player base, we'd expect to see a positive, sustained impact on the floor price.
Logically, yes. It would reflect increased demand from both existing holders wanting more utility and maybe new entrants wanting to buy into this now thriving ecosystem.
And conversely, a flat or declining floor price, despite game hype, might signal that the market isn't convinced about the game's long-term value add to the NFTs.
Exactly. It's a key sentiment indicator.
Okay, what's metric number 2?
Number 2 is overall NFT gaming volumes. We need to compare the trading volumes in the broader GameFi sector now versus the peak back in 2021 and see how Pudgy Party's launch impacts current levels.
So the question here is, does Pudgy Party lift the entire GameFi boat, or is it success if it comes just isolated to the Pudgy brand?
Precisely. A broader, sustained increase in NFT gaming volumes across multiple projects would be a strong signal. It would suggest renewed, healthy interest in the whole sector, positioning Pudgy Party as potentially leading a genuine revival, not just having its own moment.
Got it. Next metric.
Third, mobile gaming adoption rates with Web3 integration. This one's crucial for the mainstream story.
Okay, so we need to analyze the global mobile gaming market trends, but specifically look at the adoption rates for games that have these Web3 elements integrated.
Yes. And critically, is Pudgy Party successfully attracting new users who are not already crypto natives? Are they bringing genuinely new people into the Web3 space?
This is where that Trojan horse strategy really gets put to the test, isn't it?
Absolutely. High adoption here, especially among users who might not even realize they're interacting with blockchain tech under the hood, would signal a true breakthrough for mainstream onboarding. It would show that Web3 can be seamless, accessible, and fun first.
Okay, makes sense. What else?
Fourth, we need to watch social media engagement metrics.
Like Twitter, Discord activity.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be closely observing Pudgy's online presence pre-post game launch across all relevant platforms: Twitter, Discord, TikTok, wherever the conversations are happening.
Why is this so vital?
It's a crucial indicator of community excitement, organic growth, brand visibility. Is the buzz reaching beyond the usual crypto circles? Are mainstream influencers talking about it?
So we're looking for high, sustained engagement, especially from new demographics, non-crypto native players. That would suggest successful mainstream penetration and a healthy, expanding fan base.
Exactly. And we want to see genuine conversation about the game, the fun, the experience, not just speculation about token prices.
Good point. Okay, one more metric.
Yes, a critical comparative analysis. Axie Infinity versus Pudgy Party, specifically looking at their adoption strategies and their tokenomics.
Comparing the two directly.
Yes, because it will allow us to deeply understand how Pudgy Party's approach to getting users, to structuring its in-game economy, to designing the core gameplay loop might differ from Axie's, and crucially, how it might have learned from Axie's very public successes and challenges.
We're looking for evidence of more sustainable models, right? Ones that prioritize fun and long-term engagement over those quick speculative pumps we saw earlier.
That's exactly what we should be looking for. Signs of a more mature, sustainable approach to Web3 gaming.
Okay, so for each of these metrics, floor price, overall volumes, mainstream adoption, social buzz, and the Axie comparison, it's not just about the number itself, but why it's significant.
Absolutely. And how they interplay. For example, you could have massive social media hype, but if the NFT floor price isn't moving, maybe it suggests people are interested in playing the free game, but aren't convinced enough to invest in the underlying assets.
Or vice versa, maybe the floor price pumps, but there's no real player adoption that would suggest pure speculation again.
Precisely. What the trends in each metric broadly signify for the project's health and for the wider Web3 gaming space, that's the true insight we're seeking. Are people just talking and playing for free, or are they actually buying into the ecosystem, holding the assets, indicating real belief in its longevity?
These are all absolutely vital watch points. They'll tell us a comprehensive story over time. But okay, as we start to wrap up this deep dive, let's leave our listeners with some bigger questions. Things to mull over as this unfolds.
Yeah, the food for thought.
First big question, revival or hype cycle? Will Pudgy Penguins' new mobile game truly revive NFT gaming in a sustainable way? Will it inject new life, new models? Or is this just another temporary surge in that ongoing, often very cyclical rhythm of crypto hype?
That really encourages critical thinking, doesn't it? About long-term viability versus just short-term speculative interest. Yeah. The difference between building an enduring entertainment franchise and just fueling a fleeting trend is absolutely key here.
Second question for you to consider, ownership versus accessibility. As a potential player yourself, would you rather invest in and actually own a Pudgy Penguin NFT with all the associated utility and potential financial upside? Or are you perfectly content to just engage through the free-to-play game, enjoying the experience without the investment burden?
Yeah, that prompts you to think about the different value propositions for different types of users, doesn't it? Not everyone wants to be an owner-investor. But a truly successful game probably needs to appeal to everyone, from the most casual player to the deepest collector. Finding that balance.
Third question, NFTs, collectibles, or gaming's future? Where do you personally land on this? Do you believe Web3 gaming represents the fundamental, maybe even transformative future of NFTs? Is this how they unlock their true potential as interactive IP? Or do you think NFTs are ultimately best suited to remain primarily as digital collectibles, maybe with some passive utility, but not necessarily as the cornerstone of massive gaming ecosystems?
That encourages deeper thought about the core identity and the still evolving purpose of NFTs, doesn't it? Are they destined for a mostly static existence, or is dynamic, interactive utility their ultimate destiny? Big question.
And finally, maybe the most provocative question, the Disney of Web3. Considering everything we've discussed, the multi-platform expansion from physical toys and Walmart to a sophisticated mobile game with a major studio, do you genuinely think Pudgy Penguins is on a path to becoming the Disney or maybe the Pokemon of the Web3 era, building an enduring, diversified entertainment empire that truly transcends its digital origins?
Wow, that's the big one. And look, these questions, they aren't designed for immediate definitive answers, right?
No, absolutely not.
They're meant to stimulate that ongoing reflection, critical discussion, maybe even some personal exploration. They just highlight how dynamic and rapidly evolving this Web3 space is and the profound impact it's starting to have on culture, entertainment, and commerce. They help us all think about where this groundbreaking journey is truly heading.
Wonderfully put. Okay, so as we conclude this deep dive, let's just briefly recap the core journey we've taken today.
Sounds good.
Pudgy Penguins' bold, highly strategic move into mobile gaming with Pudgy Party really marks a profound shift. We've explored the immense significance of this expansion for the evolution of NFT utility, for the potential acceleration of Web3 adoption among millions, and for the fundamental redefinition of how intellectual property can be monetized in this digital age.
Yeah, and the overarching theme that emerged is that clear, compelling shift from NFTs being seen as purely speculative digital assets towards the emergence of potentially enduring multi-platform entertainment franchises.
We've seen how this move, particularly the partnership with Mythical Games, validates NFTs as serious intellectual property in the eyes of the mainstream.
Right, and how it creates new potential economic opportunities for both investors holding the NFTs and traders watching this space. And perhaps most importantly, how it offers this sophisticated yet potentially very accessible path to onboard millions of new users into Web3, all through engaging fun-first mobile experiences.
And those critical lessons from past projects like Axie Infinity, contrasted with the ambitious aspirations embodied by phenomena like Pokemon Go, they provide that rich, informative backdrop for understanding both the immense potential here, but also the formidable challenges that definitely lie ahead for Pudgy Party.
Absolutely. It's not a guaranteed success by any means.
No, not at all. But think about this. Throughout history, entertainment giants like Disney or these beloved franchises like Pokemon, they often began with just a singular, maybe simple, but somehow universally appealing character or concept.
Yeah, like a mouse or pocket monsters.
Exactly. And from that seed, they meticulously built these vast, multi-billion-dollar empires that resonated globally across generations.
True.
This deep dive today has shown us how a digital community, one born organically from NFTs, is now following a remarkably similar trajectory into mainstream gaming, into physical merchandise, achieving widespread cultural recognition.
It's fascinating to watch unfold.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Could the next truly global, multi-billion-dollar entertainment phenomenon be born not from a traditional top-down Hollywood studio, but organically from a decentralized Web3 community?
Where the fans themselves are integral.
Yeah, where the very fans and holders are integral to its ownership, its creative direction, its continuous evolution. Is this maybe the dawn of a new era? An era of truly participatory, community-powered entertainment IP?
That's a powerful thought to end on. A fundamental shift in creation and ownership.
We honestly can't wait to see how it all waddles out. Thanks for tuning in to The Deep Dive.